For today's Grimm adventure, we find ourselves in a place known as Toms River, New Jersey. Today we're going to be visiting the filming locations to the 1979 horror movie, The Amityville Horror. When it comes to the world of horror, the movie The Amityville Horror is legendary. It's terrifying. In fact, it's almost like a rite of passage for any horror fan. But here's the thing. It's based on real events of a family that was actually murdered in Amityville, New York. Now, we're not going to be talking about the actual crimes in this video. Instead, this is all about the filming locations. The filming locations for the first Amityville horror movie. The other ones,
Wherever I come, bad luck just comes my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
The first location that we're going to visit from the Amityville horror movie is the house itself. But here's the thing, before I show it to you, it's going to look a little bit different. You see, the township of Amityville in Long Island, the house that the crime actually took place, they refused to let them film there, so they had to get creative. And get creative they did.
It's the kind of house they don't build anymore. A relic of a time when the world wasn't in such a hurry, when there was still time for a little charm and elegance. It has stood empty for a long while, and at the price, it is a bargain. For a growing young family, it is almost too good to be true.
What do you think?
I love it.
James Brolin, Margot Kidder, Rod Steiger in the Amityville Horror. 28 days after the Lutz family moved into their dream house, they were running for their lives. What happened to them is an experience in terror you will never forget, and you will believe in the Amityville Horror.
The Amityville Horror House from the movie is located at 18 Brooks Road in Toms River, New Jersey, which is this house right here. Now, it is the closest thing production found that looks like the actual house where the crimes took place. And again, the township of Amityville refused to let them film there. I mean, in fact, they don't like many people coming up and standing out front taking pictures. But this is the house. In fact, the right-hand side of the house, the one right next to the tree, that is the side of the house that you see in the movie with the famous windows, and one of my all-time favorite images from any horror movie is of the Lutzes standing right next to that tree with the house in the background. Now here's where production really starts to get creative. Those famous windows aren't even here. They were fake. They were added onto the house to make it look like the famous house. But they did one more thing that kind of boggles my mind. And this is where it gets a little strange. I've always had this crazy horror fan dream about standing in the same exact spot that the Lutzes were standing in that photograph, with the house and the windows behind me right next to that tree. And I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna go up there and knock on the door and ask if I could do that. But standing here, looking at the house, the angle's wrong. I'm like, what the heck? How did they do this? At some point after filming, they moved the house just a little bit. Like they turned it towards the road that I'm standing on now. Originally, the house itself used to face this intersection. Not anymore. Like, it just boggles my mind that you can move a house after it's been built. And because this house is built right next to the Amityville Horror House, we can't even really get a good shot of the side of the house that they used for filming. This is as close as we're gonna get. Still, It's pretty cool. I mean, some time has passed since they made the movie. It's understandable. I want to point out something else that's actually really cool. In the scene where George Lutz is chopping firewood, he would have been standing right about there, right in the middle of the current pathway leading up to the front door. Now, in this scene, you can see the garage right behind him. That garage is still here. It's changed a little bit, but it's still there. And if you look closely, right behind Kathy Lutz, as she's walking up to him to get him to help with the groceries, the camera shows this house. And it still looks exactly the same. You got the garage right there. You got the little space between the garage and the house. You have the chimney, the windows, everything matches up. We're now making a stop in front of Town Hall, where you see a quick scene of George Lutz getting on his motorcycle in front of this building. Now, this isn't perfect, meaning this isn't where they had the camera set up when they got the shot, but you see something very similar to this as George Lutz gets on his motorcycle and he rides away. The very next scene is of George Lutz in the library, which is funny because right around the corner from the town hall is the Ocean County Library. How cool is that? Now, more than likely, there's been some renovations, so we're not going to go inside and try to line up things, but there is a library here. Not even a 5-minute walk up the street is our next location, which is kind of one of the coolest. I mean, it's a bar named The Witch's Brew.
You look just like that kid. You know, he was sitting right in that seat where you were when he was arrested.
What the hell are you talking about?
Kid last year that killed his family. You know the house down by the river? Hey, you're a spitting image. So?
Well, it is official. I am sad. The Witch's Brew bar would have been standing right about there, but sadly, it is long gone. It has been torn down. Nothing has been renovated. In fact, it looks like that entire side of the street has new buildings on it. And, well, it happens. I feel like in order to make this video happen, we pretty much are driving the entire coast of New Jersey. Right now, we find ourselves in Point Pleasant Beach. And this is where Father Delaney's church and, well, where he was living was filmed at. In the movie, Father Delaney's church is this building right here, and in real life, it's the St. Peter's Church here in Point Pleasant Beach. And that yellowish building to the right, that's where he lived. It's actually a very pretty church. And you know what? I always feel like we film these like atmospherical videos on rainy days, and this is definitely one of them. Also, right over here to the right, you're gonna see a basketball court. You can actually see Father Delaney's house, well, where he's living a couple different times in the movie. And one of them, you can see kids playing in this playground. Now, Father Delaney's house, like I said, is right next to the church. And that's this building right over here. And you're saying what, Jessica? It's a friary?
Could I speak with Father Delaney, please?
I'm sorry, Mrs.
There's a plaque to the left of the front porch. It says St. Peter Friary. And to be honest, watching the movie, I thought maybe it was like a plaque that they put on a house and they used that for the movie. But no, it's actually part of the church here. That is really freaking cool. When it comes to filming Amityville Horror, they filmed the exterior scenes here as well as the interior shots. You guys want to go inside and see where they filmed and what it looks like today? Let's do it. They did actually film inside this church. It starts off right here in the aisle with that giant stained glass circular window behind them as they're walking right up towards the altar.
I admire you. And what is your point? Richard, I wish you'd make your point because I've got a lot of things to do. My point is, Father, that I believe...
And then we get a shot from right about here. Man, this is beautiful.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
If you watch this entire scene and then pay attention to the detail here inside the church, everything just lines up. And look at this. Even the cross that could be seen in the movie is here.
By the power of your Spirit, you have filled the hearts.
And here's the statue of Mary. Jessica was just saying that pretty much this entire church has been untouched. It's exactly the way that it was whenever they filmed.
Of your faithful people, with gifts of love for one another. Hear the prayers that we offer for our relatives and friends. Give them health. Give them health of mind and body.
Basically what happens inside this church is Father Delaney goes blind. He loses his eyesight. And the only thing that's really not the same in here is if you look up, you see the different angels? Well, in the movie there was a prop. They had an angel that kind of looked like these ones, but it was not. It was a movie prop. And its face starts crumbling, and that is basically what leads into Father Delaney losing his eyesight.
Your son. Give them strength of mind and body. Oh, Lord, I beg. I'm blind.
I will say this, when it comes to Hollywood making horror movies, they sure do know how to pick churches. This church, beyond beautiful. This next location that we're visiting is rather small when it comes to the Amityville Horror world, but it's a very beautiful scene and it's something we can actually visit. In this scene, one of Father Delaney's friends comes to visit him at like this retreat. Father Delaney, he's kind of out of it. He's not really himself, and his friend brings him his mail. And it happened right here. Wait till you see this place, it's beautiful. From right about here, we get the shot of Father Delaney's friend, a fellow priest, all dressed in black, walking right down these steps. You can see that lion, as well as these steps right behind him. We then get a really long panning shot as the priest walks right across this stone patio to his friend Father Delaney, who's sitting on a bench. And as he does this, we get a good look at this reflecting pool, this bridge, and my God, it's beautiful. Now, of course, the sub pump wasn't here, but right where Jessica is sitting, it's the same bench Father Delaney would have been sitting on. This is cool.
Father, how are you feeling today?
They would have been sitting right here on this bench having their conversation. And you know what? It is beautiful here. In fact, in the movie, they say it is absolutely beautiful. And while we're at it, this is the shot that you would have seen whenever Father Delaney's friend says that it's beautiful. You can see the sun coming through these trees right here.
It certainly is beautiful here.
And with that being said, thank you for joining us once again on another Grimm adventure, this time to the town of Amityville. Well, the fictional town of Amityville. The real life, this is Toms River, New Jersey. Until next time, happy Halloween.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.